Rookie here. It's the Pat and JT Podcast.
Pat and JT Podcast.
402-403-9478. You too can text us, slide into our DMs, tweet us, put on Facebook, anything that you remember from 2019. Big things that happened with you, big things that happened. This said Brenda. It says Bennett on my phone.
It's your son is calling right now.
Yeah, that's okay.
So,
I'll hit him back.
Okay, we'll just.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Anyway, getting near the end of the year.
That here. Hit him first.
I'll hit his hip, I meant.
Hit his son.
Hit his hip. Dax with us to take a look back, as we do every year. When you get to December, you want to take a look back at what's happened throughout the year, and who better to go to than our main connection on the West Coast. Hi, Dax.
Hello. How are you,
buddy?
guys?
Awesome. Good to have you. And I know there's a lot of stuff. 2019 just really served up pretty well.
It was a busy year.
Yeah.
I'm exhausted.
I bet.
How are things at the pipeline, by the way?
Good. I mean, listen, the pipeline had a big year. A lot of new followers, a lot of new people checking out the website. But entertainment news definitely does not sleep. So I'm a tired man.
Well, that's just it. It's like that's one thing that'll never change. We need the paparazzi.
Yeah.
The stars in the entertainment industry needs the paparazzi, trying to keep their names in front of people. That's why you have things like we talked about last time we talked. That's why Pete Davidson's making out at the pool.
Yeah.
He's a headline.
Exactly.
Next thing you know.
And you know what? It keeps him relevant. It keeps news flowing.
Yep.
And I always look at Hollywood like high school. Like there's the popular people that you want to talk about
Good
and you
call.
want to gossip about in high school, and it just translates to celebrities in real life.
Some things never change.
Right?
Yeah.
True.
It's just a common person to either praise or make fun of or whatever in that
Emulate. That's another
Emulate.
thing, right? I mean, sometimes it's.
And I think that's half the interest in President Trump. Half the country loves him, half the country hates him, and it keeps him on the top of the headlines every single day.
It's the truth.
Very true.
Any media outlet, a news organization, they can't not cover him.
Because he's polarizing.
And he is very good at poking the bear.
Oh.
He is brilliant at it.
Oh my gosh.
Well, he was also the best at getting himself publicity before being in the White House.
True.
Master of publicity. It's like Kim Kardashian. Like she's a master of publicity when it comes to keeping herself relevant, and she's done that for 18 years or whatever
18 years,
ridiculous number it is.
Isn't that crazy? Have you heard the stories about Kanye running?
No, but I feel like I hear that every couple of years.
Okay.
But come on. People are not going to vote for crazy Kanye.
I don't know.
Said everybody about Donald Trump 2 years ago, 4 years ago or whatever.
Said half the country.
Right. Said 51% of the country.
Yeah, right. Oh God. Yep. No, crazy because I've seen him, and they've got the new place in Wyoming. Now they have two places in Wyoming.
Yeah,
or is it
two
Montana?
places now. Two large.
And putting people to work.
Yeah, they're building. He wants to build a church out there. He was building some stuff here at his home in Calabasas area. I mean, the guy's got a lot of money, and he just keeps plunking down the money to try to build new things.
Yeah, and making his shoes.
Yeah.
That's what they're going to put the plant in Wyoming. I'm pretty sure is what it was.
That's awesome.
It's something else. All right, well, take us through the year, man. What's going on?
2019.
Well, I would say do you want to start off with the biggest story or build up to the biggest story?
Let's build up to the biggest story.
Yeah, let's build up.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So I think, okay, let's start with, what do you think about Taylor Swift and Scooter Braun?
This thing has gotten out of control. I'm hearing death threats.
Well, yeah, death threats to Scooter Braun because Taylor's fans are insane. That's what it comes down to.
You think they're crazier than the Bayhive?
A group of people. And so, obviously Taylor and Scooter got into it when Scooter acquired Big Machine Label Group, which was her record label for the first, I think, 7 albums or something like that. So essentially, she doesn't like Scooter, and he buys up all of her master recordings from the first part of her career. And she said that she had no knowledge of it, that she wasn't on the inside scoop.
Do you buy that?
She would never have let it happen.
Do you buy that? I mean, she's a pretty smart businesswoman.
Yeah.
No, not at all.
Yeah,
I do not think that they would have made that deal without approaching her first and saying, Taylor, would you like to buy out all of your master recordings first? because she could afford it. She probably said, not interested, not thinking that it was going to go to Scooter.
Or anybody, probably.
But her dad was also on the board of Big Machine Label Group, so that doesn't make much sense that he wouldn't have had some prior knowledge. I think, listen, Taylor is crazy talented. She's one of the only people that writes their own songs, records their own songs. She knows what she's doing. But I think Taylor lives in this world where drama fuels her career. And she likes the drama, and she likes being able to write about the drama, and she likes to being able to capitalize on the drama. And so I think that she keeps getting caught up in it. Remember when she went after Kanye and they were like, oh, here's a recording of you saying yes that we could call you the B word. I don't know. Can you say the B word on here? I don't know.
Sure. You said ding dong the other day.
Yeah.
Him calling her a bitch, and then she turns around and says, I never gave you permission. Oh, here's a recording of you saying it's okay. She gets caught up in these lies a lot. And I also, who else fights with celebrity of other stars as much as Taylor Swift? She's been in public feuds with almost everyone in Hollywood.
It's true.
So,
yeah, you're right.
But I think you're right. That's what gets her creative juices flowing when she's trying to write new songs. And then
God, it's so exhausting.
It is, right?
Everyone.
It is. It's crazy. That's why I really do believe. I think you're right. She got outmaneuvered, and thought that she was ahead of the game and that she was making a wise decision not to buy it. It's kind of like, it reminds me of what was, I can't even remember how exactly it all went down, but when Michael Jackson bought the Beatles catalog.
Yeah.
And it was like, what? How did this happen?
But he outmaneuvered the Beatles because he paid more for their master recordings and just outbid them. And so he walked away with the catalog and they didn't.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny that she wouldn't think that somebody would find that valuable.
Right.
Yeah. And then I thought it was funny that so she goes off on Scooter Braun for buying, and then the AMAs come up and she's getting honored with the artist of the decade and starts complaining that they're blocking her from performing all of her old hits and makes a big stink about that. But in reality, they go, we weren't blocking. An artist is able to play whatever they want on any TV show. We were trying to come to negotiations with Dick Clark Productions on what happens after the show.
Right.
Then what? Then, where the rights come in, who gets paid for what. So they're like, our beef has never been with Taylor performing. It's been with Dick Clark and who pays for what at the end of the show.
Yeah, I've never heard that. Yep. Yeah, nobody said anything about that. Right.
She definitely whipped everybody up into a frenzy that follows her.
And then she went on the show. Oh, and then she said, "Oh, well, now I don't have time to perform. I don't have time to get ready to perform on my old hits." And then she went and performed all of her old hits. I'm like,
I just can't even anymore.
Yeah, I think she needs to take a little, I don't know, take a little time off. Give us a break. Just a little bit.
Stop the drama. Just do your art and move on.
Right.
There you go.
Agreed.
All right.
T-Swizz was a big one in 19.
Yes.
T-Swift. I think the obviously Britney earlier in the year. You remember with the whole Free Britney case and whether or not she was being held against her will by her father. And I mean, that was a really interesting. Hollywood Pipeline actually got the first photos of her out. Do you remember that? It was her and her boyfriend on Valentine's Day, and they were leaving a hotel. We got photos basically proving she wasn't being held against her will. So that was crazy. And then got her a couple days later going to get ice cream. But I remember that Free Britney movie. It was
I forgot about that. What's the status of her now? What is she back in Louisiana? Is she in LA? Is she with?
No, she's in LA. She's in LA. Hanging out with her boyfriend a lot of the time, but it seems like most of that has kind of cooled down since then. So I don't know. I think she's kind of just needs to she's been taking a personal hiatus from work and from entertainment, and I think that's what she needs.
Her and Taylor both just go on an 11-day cruise or something and just unplug. All inclusive, no big deal.
All inclusive Disney cruise.
Disney cruise, just chill.
I think that'd be a great idea, Pat.
Right?
I like that. Oh my God! All right, so who else is on your list of big stories?
I think the top stories, obviously, Kylie Jenner becoming the world's youngest billionaire. I think that is in the top 10 up there. not only does she become the world's youngest, I guess they called her self-made, but really, are you self-made when you are a Kardashian? I don't know. You're already handed so much opportunity, and you had a platform of being on a television show to be able to promote your stuff and have hundreds of millions of followers. I don't know if it's necessarily self-made, but we'll go with it. Then a couple months later, after it's declared, she then sells half of her company for $600 million. Unreal.
That is crazy. Which, I mean, that's what I would have done too. You just never know. Like, you have that much money, sell some of it off, man. Go liquid.
The liquid.
Yeah.
Right?
Because it's one thing to be called a billionaire, but a lot of these people, they don't actually have the billions in their bank account. It's more of a number just because of the stock market and what they're worth, but it's not like they can go and
right. You're right about that.
In their account.
If you can go ahead and sell some of that off and put some of that money in the bank and then move forward from that, then you've got some room to talk. Otherwise, you're right. Because who knows what could happen in the market. Tomorrow it all goes away.
See every day. It's like Elon Musk goes and reveals an ugly looking truck and his worth drops by $10 billion.
Exactly.
Was that not amazing watching that video? His face.
The best was the smashing of the windows.
The windows, when they threw that ball and everybody's expecting it just to like ricochet right off of it. And it just, and it crushes the window and like, oh.
And then I like that he goes, maybe throw it again a little softer. Like, here, take this tennis ball and throw it at it next time.
Right.
And they said, well, it was supposed to be, it's bulletproof, not baseball proof.
It's not metal ball proof, but it'll stop a bullet, I promise.
I swear it will. Go stand on the other side of the glass. Let's try it out.
Nope.
Not going to happen. That was good. All right. Good one.
So moving on, another big story of the year, I would say, I know we're not really numbering them, but let's go to the next one, which would be the royal baby, right?
Oh my God.
You're all about the Royals, though. You
freaking love
Dax loves the Royals.
Oh, man.
I can't get enough of that.
All right. The royal baby. Okay. I'll give you that. This is true. But
that's up
but
there,
now, isn't there...
Entering the world, definitely up there.
Yeah. So where are we? Where do we stand now in the kingdom? Because now, is there a rift between the Fab Four? Is there?
Yeah, I think that makes for a good story. I don't know if there actually is one. I mean, I don't hang out with them that often, so it's hard to remember. But I feel like it makes for a very good storyline that they don't get along and that they. But every time we've seen them out in public, it seems that Meghan and Kate get along. They sit next to each other at royal events. They are caught talking to each other, but who the hell knows? You know what I'm saying?
You saw the queen replaced their pictures. Did you see that on her nightstand? On that,
gosh.
There's a picture of she was. I don't remember who she was talking to, but there was an official portrait or official picture was taken as she was greeting somebody in whatever room, and they had another picture in that same room from another time, and it had the picture of Harry with Meghan, and then the next time that picture was gone.
Oh, it's telling.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, that's telling.
Maybe a kid knocked it off.
You really think the queen is decorating her house, guys?
No.
Somebody's sending secret messages.
Yeah, she's got 4 million rooms in that house. She ain't touching anything. She doesn't. I mean, come on. She's like 100 now. Let's be realistic.
It's very close. She's 93. She went for a horseback ride the other day. Not that long ago. 93.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
That's crazy. And what about, okay, we got to talk about what's his bucket, Andrew.
Prince Andrew, yeah.
He's been exiled.
Oh, well, when you associate yourself with Epstein,
You're like,
things don't look good for you.
And he did a horrible interview. And they said that his daughter, and I don't know which one, is the one that's handling some of his public relations stuff and thought that this interview would be a good idea. And is taking it really hard now because it didn't work out. But he had like over 200 organizations that he worked with or promoted. And almost all of them have pretty much said, okay, nice knowing you.
Yeah, it's weird how underage child, relations, they don't look good for your optics. Weird, right?
I think it's really interesting, too, is that for people, because the story isn't near as big as I think it should be. But I think for a lot of people, they're having a really hard time accepting that this actually is true.
Yeah.
Because it's so fantastic.
It's so crazy that there's like this underground society that was doing stuff like this, and I think that's a hard part because most people, their brains aren't wired to understand why people would do this.
Agree.
So I
a
think
good
like
point.
when I hear these stories, I'm like, I literally can't understand it,
Yeah.
let alone like process like this is true. Like, no, people don't want to do this. Wow, people actually did this. This is insane.
Yeah, it's seeing the pictures inside Epstein's home, or seeing the pictures that they sent a drone out to that mausoleum that was on his island, and the front side of it, the front door actually faces the cliff. On the other side, that door is just painted on. And then there's windows. They could see inside the windows just a little bit to see what was inside that mausoleum type, whatever that thing is. That
I'm gonna
they have.
throw up.
Right?
It's so incredible. It's like nobody could have made this up and made a movie, because everybody would say, "Oh, that's so stupid."
Yeah.
There's no way people do that.
You're right. Yeah, you couldn't have written that.
You couldn't have. And it's trying to wrap your head around all that. This has been amazing, and to see what happened in the royal family, it's like, oh wow, she believes it.
Yep. Yep. She
Here's
was like,
your-
you will not be doing any more press for the royal family.
Here's your
Done
walking
and
papers.
done.
Yep, over with. We're done with you. That's crazy.
Kugler Vision, proud supporter, maybe, hopefully they're a proud supporter of our Pat and JT podcast, but they are one nonetheless.
They are, and we're proud to have them as a
That's
supporter.
very
Don't want to
true.
necessarily put words in their mouth.
That's true.
But what we would like to do is take your glasses off. How about that?
You can do that.
You realize what's coming up, don't you? Not just Christmas, but the New Year's, and then we're going to be in what year?
2020.
2020
This
vision.
is like my golden birthday was the 14th would it be when I was 14. So this
Right?
would be their golden year,
This is-
2020 for Kugler Vision.
This is it for Kugler Vision. We're in the year of 2020. So now, prior to Christmas, as we sit, is the perfect time to make your move. There are several reasons. We're going to go down the list for you. Let's start off with just having glasses in general in the winter, fogging up, going from outside to inside.
Miserable.
When you have some hot cocoa, fogging up, or hot coffee, fogging up. Your contacts are so much drier in the winter. And that's miserable.
Everything's
as well.
drier in the winter, especially your eyes.
Right?
Yeah.
So this would be a great time to make that appointment, get that consultation in there, and find out what it is that can be done to correct your vision, so you can toss the glasses or toss the contacts.
And how about going into 2020, seeing as close to 2020 as you possibly can?
Wouldn't that be awesome?
That'd
What a
be
great
pretty
gift.
fantastic, right? Oh, an amazing gift.
That would be an awesome gift. Plus, guys, before the end of the year, don't forget, if you have either account, either the FSA or HSA, which is the flexible spending, or I think it's a health spending account, right? Either one. If you save for things like this and you're like, what am I going to spend this on? I've saved up some money. You've got some that's in there. They have the promotion that they're doing right now. They're giving you two times the dollars.
That doesn't, and this is the time
Right?
of year when you look at that and you're thinking, this money's good. You use it
use
or
it or
lose
lose it.
Yeah,
That's
so don't
it.
lose it, and especially if they're going to double it.
Double it. My gosh, yes, take advantage of that. And time is running out. We know that the calendar says so, but not only that, things get hectic because people have those FSA and HSA accounts and they're all of a sudden wanting to cash them in. And so spots are limited.
So do it.
Just get that
now.
appointment. Get online. They have a scheduler right online. And not only that, after you make that appointment, they're going to ask you a few questions so they know a little bit about you. One of the questions is, where did you hear about Kugler Vision?
You're hearing it right now on the Pat and JT podcast. Put
Please
Pat and
let
JT
them
podcast.
know.
It helps them. It helps us.
It helps us. It really
helps you.
does, because we want them to know that you're our listener, and that you've been with us. And believe me, they will take really good care of you.
Yeah, they do. Mm-hmm. So KuglerVision.com.
So yeah, the
Okay.
Royals had quite the year. Okay.
Royals had quite a year. I guess we could flip through a couple of the big marriages, just to marriages or people getting together. We had who did we have? A-Rod and J-Lo. Obviously got engaged in the Bahamas.
I like it.
Katy Perry and Orlando Bloom got engaged this year on Valentine's Day. Heidi Klum got married.
Yeah.
Dwayne Johnson got married to his longtime girlfriend. Nicki Minaj got married. So I'd say those were the
Right.
big marriages, big divorces, because those kind of,
They balance
take up
out.
headlines. Adele and her husband split after 7 years. Chloe and Tristan split up after their big infidelity scandal. Miley and Liam, which was kind of shocking.
Yeah,
That
mean,
that
it was
story,
that was very shocking.
Isn't that? I mean, stuff that you hear about that story too. It's like he was putting up with a lot,
I figured she was a handful.
right?
Is that like what
You guys think Miley's a big handful?
high maintenance?
Yeah, I don't see that at all.
I don't know. How did he stay with her for so long?
No,
She's that crazy.
I think that
Sometimes you put up with crazy just for your own protection.
I think some people put up with crazy. It's true.
What's going on with Justin Hartley too? Like out of the blue.
That was weird, right?
Right.
Like less than a year. Or less than 2 years.
Less than 2 years.
I feel like they just got married.
Well, and they were my wife like digs as soon as this stuff up, she digs everything up. So they in the divorce papers, he said they've been separated since July,
But
and
yet
then
they were out together recently.
right, like a week ago, and then even their friends are like, we had no idea there were any issues, and then he filed for divorce.
Yeah, I don't know. To me, when you have like such a sudden divorce, something sudden just happened. Like that to me screams there was infidelity on someone's part.
And if he filed, then it must have been her. Or I mean, that's just what we can assume.
Or those are just the optics that they want. Because whenever a lot of celebrities race to the courthouse to file the divorce papers. I mean, I've seen this 100 times where like you've got two big celebrities and they just want their name to say so-and-so divorced the other person. So their lawyers are literally trying to get it there so that they can be the ones to say they divorced.
It's true because you're automatically kind of given a not grace period. What am I trying to say? You're giving credit automatically.
It's
true. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, good point.
So I don't know what's going on there. And then we had the Bradley Cooper and Irina breakup.
Crazy.
Gaga called off her engagement.
And
Michelle.
Gaga and Bradley, they didn't get together.
That's the biggest shocking non-hookup of 19.
I thought that was a sure thing.
Right?
Right. Did you say which one is?
But Gaga and Bradley.
It was the most shocking non-hookup of 19. Like that was an obvious. It was sitting right out there for
It was
him.
right there. I thought everybody said it was true.
They went to third base on the bench on the piano was it the Oscars or the Grammys or whatever?
Whatever it was. Yes.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, so they almost did it.
Who else do we have? We had the Jamie Foxx, Katie Holmes. It was like, they're together, and now they're broken up. That all happened. Everyone like kind of knew that they were together, or it was like the worst kept secret in Hollywood. But then they like came out and finally like held hands in public, and then immediately broke it off.
Do you think they did that because they couldn't really break up until people knew they were together? So they came out and said, "Okay, we're going to end it. So we need to make everybody know we're here, and then we're going to say see ya."
And then we're just going to move on.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And then Larry King, poor old man, like 100
What?
years old, and he got a divorce after 22 years of marriage.
How does he pack so many years of marriage into his life? I don't understand.
Right?
It seems like he just got married.
I'm like, Sean, why did you give up now, lady? Come on.
Just hang
We're
in
almost
there.
the finish
What are
line,
you
yo. How old is Sean? Sean's got a minute to live after he goes, right?
She in her like 40s or she's
man.
young.
He must have been rough to live with because you're right close to the finish line, just a couple more paces, and you got some scratch. Is that bad?
Oh, that's pretty bad, but we'll go with it.
Whatever.
Okay, other than marriages, divorces, I mean, we got to talk a couple celebrity deaths because those always fill the headlines.
Yeah.
Luke Perry, obviously, probably
Yeah.
the most high-profile celebrity death this year from after his massive stroke.
Yeah.
Oh, well, actually, Nipsey Hussle was
That made a lot of
that was a
headlines.
pretty big deal with
Yeah.
him being gunned down here in LA. So, those two, I think, were the most publicized celebrity deaths of the year.
Yeah.
The Young and the Restless star, Christoph St. John, he had heart failure, passed away. John Singleton from a stroke. Beth Chapman from breast cancer. Peter Fonda. I mean, I'm probably missing a bunch of people, but those were kind of the ones that are on the top of my mind that we lost this year.
It's always when you get to the end of the year and you look back and you read a list of people that passed away, the ones that you not forgot about, but like, oh man, I slipped my mind that they passed away.
Yeah.
Like, I can't believe it. Like, the Luke Perry one got me. It's like I forgot that he had passed away.
Yep. It's
Yeah.
crazy. So I got to be honest. I have 2 stories left, and I don't know which one I would give to number 1 spot.
Ooh.
Oh,
So
okay.
co-number ones.
Well, that's
okay.
all right.
Yeah.
Then
So
I'm good.
I
Okay.
am going to bring them up,
Okay.
and you tell me which you think believes or deserves the number 1 spot of the
Okay.
biggest
This is
story of
fun.
the year.
This is
Okay.
fun.
Okay.
Okay. So I've got the college admission scandal with Lori Loughlin and Felicity Huffman
Good choice.
Yeah.
versus Jussie Smollett.
Oh.
Man, I don't
I-
know.
Oh, because Jussie Smollett's still going on.
Still
I
going
mean,
on. Well, so is the
So is the
admission
college
scandal.
thing. She just hasn't gone to prison yet. So I'm thinking,
Man.
Aunt Becky's going to go to jail. I just do believe that's going to happen.
I mean, that story has been going on. You've got, you've got two celebrities wrapped up into that one, which makes it even a bigger story. You've got prison time.
Yeah.
You've got very rich people donating tons of money to school. So, like,
again, there's that world that you're talking about, that underbelly that people, it's like people spent how much to get their kid in college? $500,000 to get
I know.
what? Who does
Crazy.
that? And thinks
and then
it's
I'm sitting
okay.
over here with student loans being like, thanks, parents.
Yeah. Jerks.
Way to go.
Couldn't take a fake picture of me shooting a bow and arrow and try to get me into school with a scholarship. Thanks for thinking outside the box.
God, I would have sat down on that rowing machine for a photo real fast.
All day.
Right,
All
I
day.
know.
Now the Jussie Smollett, though, that also involves the destruction of a lot of people's careers because they were all attached with the show.
Yeah.
Well,
And
I mean,
everything people stood up for him.
That's the thing. I think a hate crime garnering so much public sympathy, followed by so much public hatred, followed by dismay because he was let go and the charges were dismissed, then followed by the city of Chicago suing him, then him countersuing Chicago saying, no, I didn't lie. I mean, the story is, there's so many layers on it. And I just think, Jussie, you're a big fat liar. Like, enough's enough. Let it go.
Just stop.
Your reputation is damaged. You've lost your job. Like, stop trying to fuel this narrative when it wasn't true in the first place.
The best thing he could
crazy.
do would be to do an interview or something with somebody, Dax Holt from Hollywood Pipeline, and just come out and say, listen, I screwed up. I lied. People have lied in their life. I really made a huge mess. I apologize. I'm really sorry. And that would be the best chance for him to get any sort of career back at all.
And he would.
But for him to do is to go on Celebrity Big Brother, because
That
you
would
ain't getting
be-
another job past that. But no one wants to hire you at
Well-
this point if you're willing to go to extreme lengths to get a raise or
You know
to-
what?
That's a good point.
It is. Because remember what happened? See, Isaiah Washington from Grey's Anatomy. Remember that when that happened? Yes. And that was for using a gay slur,
Yep.
essentially against one of his coworkers. And he's just like, pfft. Now he's gone completely to the other end, and trying to revamp his career. But he's still did some directing. But I think he just got, I kid you not, he got a cooking show.
Okay.
Where he's going to be traveling across the country and interviewing people, regular Joes, and it's going to be on the new Fox Nation.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow. Random.
I know.
I didn't know that.
Right.
And I mean, I saw Michael Richards has been able to rebuild his career. I mean,
Good
that
point.
took 12 years or so after his crazy rant inside the Laugh Factory. But
And Mel Gibson?
I want to say I saw like a bus drive by when I was in Vegas, and he's got a Vegas show. I'm like, wow. Like, I never thought that he would have another show after that.
And you think about
Yes.
that too when you talk about him or Gibson, and coming back around. They were established when they went off the rails.
Jussie Smollett, not established.
Not exactly.
A character on a show.
Yeah.
You know, I had never heard his name really before that.
Juicy. I love Juicy,
Juicy
better.
Smollett.
Juicy Smollett. 'Cause
Juicy.
Juicy's French.
Yeah.
Juicy Smollett.
So I don't know. What do you guys think takes the top spot? That it's a tough call. These
it is
were
a tough
two
call.
Massive stories that have filled up the headlines for months and months
I
and
think
months.
I think the Jussie Smollett's bigger. A little, not bigger, but more
It's more
salacious.
scandalous.
Yeah.
But
scandalous.
the other one, because the other one is, if it wasn't for the fact that it was Felicity Huffman and what's her bucket Aunt Becky, would not be in the headlines as it is. Even though it's as big a story as it is, it wouldn't have. It
Plus, I
wouldn't have
think
lasted.
At the end of the day, I go, Lori and Felicity, what they did was really crappy. However, they were trying to do it for their kids. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I know.
move everything aside. Like, they wanted the best education. They wanted to give their children the opportunity to be successful.
Or they just wanted to say their kids were going to that school.
Of course. But at that same note, that's because their kids would become more successful with a better education.
On the other side, did they hurt anybody?
Well, yeah, you hurt the establishment, you hurt the other kids that are actually smart and trying to get into the school and now lost out to rich kids.
Non-rowers.
Yeah. So there's that side of it. So they definitely hurt people.
And he definitely did too.
But Jussie's was a much more hurtful, not only to the African American community, to the white community, to the Chicago community, to the gay community, to he hurt everyone,
And it's even more insulting that he won't just stop.
Yeah.
Just stop.
He keeps doing it.
Just stop. And you know what? If you remember, during his investigation, he backed off on the claims that it was a white man that attacked him.
Mm-hmm.
It came out that the brothers were in on it or whatever. And so he backed off on that claim. Now that he is countersuing Chicago, he is now saying 100% it was a white man that attacked me. I'm like, oh my gosh. I can't keep up with your story anymore. Enough, dude.
Just shut up.
Does he have nobody that cares for him around him? Nobody cares.
Well, and he keeps saying, he said that the city of Chicago, basically, the two brothers that were involved, you remember the two guys that were there, he says that they were adamant that they weren't a part of some kind of hoax, and that the city of Chicago, the police officers or whatever, convinced them to change their story for immunity.
Right, I'm sure.
Right.
Unbelievable.
Did they left the country, didn't they?
I think they left, but their lawyer is like, oh my God. Even their lawyer is like, shut up, Jussie.
You wrote
enough, dude.
And it's a check. You wrote a check, not even an ACH. It's a freaking check.
ACH.
Didn't anyone learn not to write a check after the Pat O'Brien situation where he hired a hooker with a check?
Yes! Right.
Checks are cash.
About that.
Who was that? Didn't Hugh Jackman do the same thing or something? People stop writing checks.
Who has a check?
Who has a check?
And he had to go to his business manager and say, I just need a blank check. I got a couple things I'm going to pick up.
For what?
I want to be able to write it off at the end of the year.
Yeah. Okay. Sign on business account.
Hoax.
Oh my God.
Tax return.
That's in marketing. It's a marketing play, so it should go in their marketing and advertising budget.
Yeah.
Congrats, Jussie. You got
there you go.
Top entertainment
Way to
story
go.
here being a douchebag.
So everybody knows your name. Just what he was looking for. Dax, thank you so much.
You are the man, Dax.
Guys.
Thanks for being with us in 2019 for our first year of our podcast. Thanks for hanging with us and many, many more.
Our 1 year anniversary for our podcast on February 15 is coming up. So we'll have to do something in the next 6 or 8 weeks, I guess. 6 weeks. My God, that's that close.
You guys have come a long way in the last year. Done a great job with this podcast.
Well, thanks, buddy. We appreciate all your support. We really do.
Thanks, guys. Have a great one.
Thanks, Dax. You too, buddy.
Hollywood Pipeline, guys.
And at Dax Holt on Twitter, Facebook.
All the socials.
Yeah. Just search it. Tweet to us, too. It's Pat and JT, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook.
Pat and JT Podcast, a Parkville Media Production.